Hey, I am back. Back from hell. Literally. I just came out of it. And the reason why you go through hell is so I could tell the story. I went through... It was an ego death. It was... I would never recommend it. But somehow to get to the other side, you have to go through that. I told you that on the day of the new moon, I had seen a hawk, and that always reminds me to look at things from a higher perspective. Well, when you're going through hell, or when you're in the basement, it's kind of hard to get to a higher perspective. I mean, you try and imagine a building, and trying to get from the basement to the penthouse, and you're trying to go up the stairs, and the stairs are not there, or as you step on them, they dissolve. And it was just like trying to get a height, boom, trying to get a height, boom, and it was a difficult thing to do. But again, I primarily I needed to tell the story. Second, I don't want to be down there. It's a horrible place to be. And if you're in it, keep going, okay? Even if it feels like the steps are dissolving on you and you can't get upwards, just keep fighting, keep going, okay? It's a nasty fight, and you're going to get hit. In any fight, you're going to get hit. But you never let off. You keep going. And the point is not, for you to white knuckle everything, Sometimes, yes, when you're so depressed, be getting angry, be getting rageful, it's a step up, So you do go up in elevation. But the point is to really get happy about something, or look for something that makes you happy, and trying to stay there for as long as you can, and that would again snowball into something else. Easier said than done, but it is doable. It is doable, and that's why that's why I'm able to say that, because you meditate and you feel good while you're meditating, but then as soon as you get out of the meditation, you drop again. So like, what do you do in between? Well, a lot of it has to do with being nice to yourself, being kind to yourself, being loving to yourself, and doing the things that make you feel good. Like in my case, I still haven't been able to sing for some reason. Maybe it has something to do with me not being able to do these kinds of recordings, because it was like my throat chakra had been shut down, So what I did was take care of myself physically by stretching, doing yoga, doing something physical. And those are the kind of things that I was always taught that were a waste of time. And I know that a lot of you are already too advanced for you to be told this, but when you're not feeling so hot, you avoid these things because you figure, well, there's other things that could be more productive, especially in the physical. But when you you have to remember that the physical comes after the spiritual, the mental. So that has to be prime, to making your spirit happy, or doing those things that make your spirit happy, so your mental state can improve. And then, you'll get the physical manifestation of, things improving. You have to remember like a pyramid, you got the peak, you got the mental, and it spreads down to the physical. So yeah, when physical things can be so overwhelming that it's like, wow, everything is already here. Look what I'm going through. Making your spirit happy is really gonna give you, it's gonna be the most productive thing you can do. So the part of self-love or self-care, is huge. And again, these are the kinds of things that most people knock and tell you that, well, those are non-productive things. What are you doing there laying on the floor stretching? You could be doing something more productive. But essentially these people don't know where you are. Again, if they were able to walk in your shoes or be inside your skin and bones, they would know that I need this. So as you make yourself happy, you start to climb, and in your mental state, soaring a little bit higher. Like I mentioned, those hawks. When I saw those hawks, it always reminds me of looking at things from a higher perspective. But it never says, like, the message is not how you get higher. It just says to look from a higher perspective, looking at things from the penthouse. And when you see things from a penthouse, you see the totality of things. You see not only the heavens, but you also see below. And you see more, a lot more. Your view is more ample. Well, I was in the middle of all of that because it took, maybe 3-4 weeks or something like that. So I really found out that these moments come around to force you to be nice to yourself, because you can be nice to a lot of people, but a lot of the times we put ourselves last. So when you really put your focus on being nice to yourself, well, the ramifications are just as big or the same, if not greater, because then you start to notice your mental state starts to improve because you're being nice to yourself. And as you're being nice to yourself, you start to soar. And you start to get higher and higher and higher. And this reminds me of something that I saw, because during those times I saw an eagle. The next day I saw another one again. And I was like, okay, that's definitely a message. And a day after that, I saw something that somebody posted that it said that the ravens are the only bird that will attack an eagle. They will get on its back and start pecking at it, right? Well, the eagle doesn't do anything like shake it off or anything like that, but what it does is just rise higher and higher and higher until the raven can't take the altitude, and they just fall off of the eagle's back. I came to the realization that's what I was doing. That as I kept being nicer to myself, I kept rising and rising and rising until all my problems just kind of fell off of me. I mean, the problems some of them are still there, but they don't bother me as much. You know what I mean? So be nice to yourself. Love yourself. Because essentially a lot of these hard times come around because you forgot about yourself. And it's a reminder, a cruel reminder, if you will, but an effective one. Because essentially it lets you know, wait a second, I am the center of my whole existence. And if I forget about me, then what kind of signal I'll be putting out? And what kind of stuff is going to come back from my signal? You know what I mean? So, you are number one. Don't forget it.